So, Chuck Todd, obviously other big news coming out today. New York Times reporting that two inspectors generals are recommending the Department of Justice look into criminal charges, or at least a criminal investigation against Hillary Clinton. How significant is that?
I think it's incredibly significant, and I have to say, watching the little back and forth between the Times and the Clinton campaign about how to word it, I mean, at the end of the day, if there's an investigation into mishandling of classified government documents on Hillary Clinton's email server, how is Hillary Clinton not the subject of that investigation? I mean, how do you do the investigation without investigating her? But that, I understand semantics and lawyerly explanations. But I think it's incredibly significant, and I'll tell you, it puts a little pressure on this Justice Department. You have two inspector generals recommending this investigation. If they don't do it, there's going to be a lot of calls about politics, saying a Democratic Justice Department didn't do it. So I expect that you will see an investigation opened up. And, Joe, 15 months before a general election, assuming she is the Democratic nominee, and you have that, you begin your general election campaign with potentially a criminal justice investigation going on. You never know what's going to happen out of that. Look,
you never know what's going to happen.
David Petraeus basically, this is what he got hit for, was mishandling classified information. So if he's not above it, I don't think Hillary Clinton's going to be above it.
Well, and that's, Mika, that's exactly what I was going to say to you, is the name that just keeps coming up as you read these first reports, and it's just a first blush. David Petraeus having his career seriously sidetracked because of the mishandling of classified documents.
Gene Robinson, were you one of the people who said the emails don't matter? And if so, do they matter now? I mean, there were so many. I don't know.
You know me, Mika. I would never make a declarative sentence that the emails don't matter.
You would never say
do they matter now?
Because you never know. I mean, and I always said this is an issue. This looks bad. It has always looked bad. And, you'll have to excuse me for a minute. I'm still trying to deal emotionally with Donald's expression of love.
He loves you.
I hadn't prepared this morning to enter a bromance with Donald, but
you got
I guess that's where we are.
That is where we are.
But on the
it is what it is, Gene.
It is what it is, Joe. But Hillary Clinton. I mean, my question, I guess I would ask Chuck, is there anything the Clinton campaign can do now to put this to rest, or is that horse like totally out of the barn? Is there nothing they can do to get on top of this story?
No, I think they blew it when they didn't turn over the server immediately. I mean, I think this is one of those things that they could have, instead of saying, well, the State Department, it's up to the State Department to release the emails and all that, I think that they lost any high ground they could have had by being proactive in, okay, here's the server, Congress, you can have it, take a look, giving off the perception, nothing to hide here, instead of sort of, while technically following the law and this, and technically doing what they're supposed to be, giving it to the state and letting state do this. They could have been more out front on this, particularly with that server. I don't know if there's anything they can do now to get out in front of it. I think now they just got to hope nothing is found.
And Mika, you've been talking about it nonstop. It's been the issue that's concerned you the most. Them destroying the server, not turning it over, destroying it. Now you could possibly be in the middle of a criminal investigation, and the very thing that could exonerate her or make things even worse for her has been destroyed. I don't know what legal impact that's going to have, but it certainly would have a massive impact. In the court of public opinion.
So, I mean, it would certainly give her opponents, Amy, a narrative, no?
Certainly, and it gives them ammunition, but I think their best strategy is the one that they've been deploying, which is to kick up a lot of dust.
I think Chuck's absolutely right about pressure on the Justice Department. That's a huge deal. And we know that there are people within the White House who think the way Hillary Clinton handled her emails was completely politically stupid and maybe legally questionable. And this is the exact narrative Republicans want to drive. It's good for Williams and Connolly. They'll get a lot of legal fees off of this. But this is a very dangerous thing. This may turn out in retrospect this story to be one of the biggest developments of this campaign.
It could be, and Chuck Todd, we're going to have a very fascinating White House watch, because you have a White House that will tell you off the record, many of the top people, that they're contemptuous of how the Clintons play ball, contemptuous of how Hillary Clinton handled the server, but at the same time, they'll let you know that they are all in for Hillary Clinton because they know that the Affordable Care Act's future depends on Hillary Clinton winning the nomination. So how political are these decisions inside the Justice Department going to be? That's going to be the nagging question.
Well, in fair, if you look at the history of this Justice Department, one thing on this front, you know, they have when in doubt, they have opened an investigation. I think a lot of people thought they, you know, would hold back on Petraeus. They didn't do that. So I expect them to do it. I mean, I think, and the history of this administration to do it, and to go what you're saying, look, Obama's president of the United States because they exploited Hillary Clinton's trust issues back in 2007 and 2008. Let's not forget that.